A week ago, I reviewed the film Cabin Fever, and I will say that it was a very good film, the original, that is. And since my review of that did so well, I thought, what the hell? Let's talk about its sequel. This is my review of Cabin Fever 2, and I thought it was Spring Break, but it's not. I made a mistake. It's really called Spring Fever. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Dual, bear known to you as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 2009 comedy horror flick Cabin Fever 2 Spring Fever, also known simply as Cabin Fever 2, released by Lionsgate for Morningstar Films and Deer Pack Films. Produced along with Tonic Films, LO Entertainment, Proud Mary Entertainment, and Tunnel Incorporated. Directed by Ty West in one of his early attempts of a horror film. Of course, this came out after he did The House of the Devil. Yeah. This is the second installment of the Cabin Fever franchise. Anyway, it features Noah Segan, Rusty Kelley, Alexi Wasser, Marc Senter, plus Ryder Stone and Giuseppe Andrews, both of those reprising their roles from the first film. The film is about a high school prom that descends into chaos when a deadly flesh-eating bacteria spreads via a popular brand of bottled water. This film made its premiere at the Fantastic Fest on September 23rd, 2009. And then a month later, it made its premiere at the Man Chinese Six Theaters in Hollywood as part of the Screamfest Horror Film Festival LA. And then got released on physical media in February of the following year. Anyway, now this film is really more crazier and more freakier than its predecessor. If you haven't seen my review of the first Cabin Fever, click on that card. It'll take you to the video in case you might have missed it, or if you want to see it again if you'd like. Believe me, I was very happy with the views. It's gotten over 40 views. Alright, let's get into the story. Sometime after the events of the first film, a disfigured Paul escapes from the creek and makes it to the highway only to be splattered by a school bus. Henceforth, we got our title card. Just ran just for fun. Deputy Winston Olson checks the remains and assures the shocked bus driver that he has hit a moose, then dumps the body near a creek. Paul's infected blood enters the creek and makes its way into a local bottled water company. High school senior John is debating where to go to prom with his longtime crush Cassie or stay home. His friend Alex is against going until he hooks up with a girl named Liz who drags him into the toilet before giving him a BJ. Alex notices a large yellow head on her lip but thinks nothing of it. She says if she can get off work that night, she will meet him at the prom. John's friends Daryl and Dane recommend that he watch a movie with them instead of going to prom. While walking home, John asks Cassie to go to prom, but she refuses. Winston is at a restaurant and sees a worker from the bottled water company die and realizes the cause was Paul's body. He goes to the water plant to inform its operators, who are quickly killed by a group of soldiers in nuclear, biological, chemical, or NBC suits. See, I just thought I'd give you that, clear that up, so that way you wouldn't get it mixed up with another NBC in that way. Winston leaves before they can get to him. At the high school where the infected bottles are distributed, the infection spreads, causing several deaths. Alex is disappointed that Liz did not come, while John gets into a fight with Cassie's boyfriend Mark. As the prom queen is named, the soldiers storm in and put the school under lockdown. As more students in the gym show signs of infection and die, the gym is gassed from the outside. Cassie, John, and Alex watch the carnage in horror. Winston is picked up by his cousin Herman, ready to leave town. Now for the last bit. You better sub this video immediately. Go to the description box below. Fast forward to the time below. I'm counting down now, so if you've seen this already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. In the end, Alex discovers he's infected with necrotizing facilitis and stays behind. John shows signs of the infection and lets Cassie amputate his hand to stop it. Mark hits Cassie with a hammer and tries to kill John, but Cassie kills him with a nail gun. The two leave the school only to be ambushed by the soldiers. John stalls them, allowing Cassie to escape. She finds herself on the highway and stops Herman's van. Winston and Herman take Cassie with them, not knowing she is also infected. Meanwhile, Alex's date Liz is at her workplace. She's a stripper at Teasers with a Tazers, as she spreads the infection to the customers, who in turn spread it further around the country and even to Mexico in the story. But in the post-credit scene, two guys, Daryl and Dane, they're shown watching a movie, and Dane says, "Prom blows." So what did I think of prom? Not prom night. I already reviewed prom night. Cabin Fever 2, Spring Fever. My apologies. Okay, well, I've seen this 3 times now, and I am going to say it's good and what have you. I mean, well, I still like the first Cabin Fever, but this comes right behind it. It has more craziness and what have you, more crazy characters and what have you. So I'd say if you like the first film, I think you'll enjoy this one. I mean, it does pick up after the events of the first film, as I've said in the beginning of the story. So from what I've seen, it's pretty bloody and what have you. Anyway, upon its release, it got released on physical media, and it has been released in a special unrated version. Later on, it came to Blu-ray, and it came with a special unrated director's cut of its predecessor, directed by Eli Roth, which I failed to mention about that. I completely forgot that there was an unrated cut, but I've never seen it though. Upon its release, this film's really got a ton of hate. It sits at a measly 16% on Rotten Tomatoes. Much as I hate to say it, from what I've just checked my source here, which of course is Rotten Tomatoes themselves, since my main source does not have information. But actually, that 16% is from the popcorn meter, not the tomato meter. One review saying without doubt one of the worst horror movies ever made and one of the worst movies ever made. A lot of people aren't really impressed. But most people are still hating on this movie. I mean, given the fact it was done by Ty West after he directed a real shocking horror flick in the form of The House of the Devil, which was released the same year this was, a few months prior. And of course, this was still before he directed the X trilogy. But anyway, I have to give West credit for this. This was one of his early films and what have you, so I can't be rude to him on that. The score down by Ryan Shore was not too bad. Its soundtrack, I will say, has some pretty good tunes and what have you. Apparently, they also have the Prom Night song from the original Prom Night film from 1980, which I think that's really cool. And there's some other songs on here, but anyway, but from artists I'm not too familiar with. The screenplay was written by Joshua Malkin, and while the story was written by Randy Perlstein and Ty West. I appreciated continuing after the events of the first film, and we're going into bottled water and getting into a big prom, and then being used. Well, actually, the bottled water does cause a little bit of issues, but the water, it spreads down to more of the water that gets put in the fruit, in the punch, and what have you. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So for the cast, it's kind of a little mixed. Noah Segan plays John, not bad. Rusty Kelley played Alex, yeah, he's fine. Um, Alexi Wasser played Cassie, she wasn't too bad. We have Reagan Deal as Liz, and Michael Bowen as Principal Sinclair, Angela Oberer as Miss Hawker, that was a teacher. Judah Friedlander, who I've seen in Meet the Parents, Date Movie, and several others. He played Toby, who works at the water plant. And Amanda Jelks played this big bone gal named Frederica. Ryder Strong makes a little bit of an appearance in the beginning as Paul before he gets, hit by the bus. And Giuseppe Andrews returns as Deputy Winston Olson. I will say I liked his performance in this almost as much as in the first film. This film's absolutely crazy and what have you, though. But if if you really want to continue the story, then I'd say go check out Cabin Fever 2 Spring Fever. Would I recommend it? I would recommend you only give this a one-time watch if you're a hardcore completionist. Okay, but if you're not, stick with the original. But I'd say I recommend you give this a one-time watch. I think you'll like it. And I think you'll like it more than that nearly shot for shot. I kind of think it was shot for shot remake of Cabin Fever that was done a few years later. And after this, there would be a third film, but it was a prequel, though. Haven't revisited that film, though, but if I do happen to encounter it again, I will certainly watch it. If this review gets some good views, then mind you, I'll try keep it in mind and save it for someday, okay? Excuse me. Promise, okay? So, that's will do it for this review. What did you think of Cabin Fever 2 Spring Fever? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, consider clicking the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, make it grow, and make the views grow. Tell your friends about my channel, give them to know me. May they like to be a part of my Big D Nation as well. So keep up the good work, everyone. Please stand by. My next video will be the next Wide World of Game Shows episode, which will be on the game show known as Gambit. So if you like this, how about checking out what Ty West did later after this, the X trilogy. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of X from 2022, definitely a classic. The upper right hand corner is my spoiler free review of its prequel, Pearl, from that same year. These are spoiler free reviews. Or go to the bottom left hand corner and see my spoiler free review of the third and final installment, Maxine, from last year in 2024. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.